Welcome back to Better Minecraft, and if it's your first time, welcome. We are starting off in the desert because I would like to get some cactus because I need to make, I want to make an animal book. We see all these animals, but I don't remember how to tame them. Surprise, surprise. From other mod packs, obviously. I know I'm going to need a little bit of sand, not a whole lot, because I need windows, some glass, and of course, fortunately, I did find another desert temple. These things, after that death in it, in hardcore, I am panicked. Like, I'm nervous. But I would like to see if I can find one of those chambers. Just one of them and not die in it. So, this is how I end up doing it. Spoiler, this one is not that one. And if you're wondering which one it is, if you see these smooth blocks of sandstone, they go up farther. Not just this little layer, it goes up farther. If you're wondering which one has the hidden chamber in it. But I'm going to do this really slowly because I know I had moved the pressure plate, which means there was some redstone somewhere attached to one of these chests. This mod pack is great for trap chests. Just to let you know. Just be careful. Even some trap chests I've opened weren't attached to anything. They were just trap chests. It's really hard to say, but I did it. I did it. But regular loot that you would normally find in one of these. But I did get out alive, which was really, really good. And that's always a win for me. I am soon to head back, though. And I head back because I really would like to start on my storage. Those ugly chests outside, I just really don't want them there. So this is what I'm doing. The pine I actually want it as a flooring, not as a walling or anything. I originally started it off using as like a roofing, but didn't really work for me. So I'm going to use the wood anyway. And it does work in this space, which you'll see right down here. In here, this is under the house, by the way. If you remember the first episode, I showed there was an open area. This is that open area. I could make like a giant storage house. I'm not going to do that. Normally, I like to keep my spaces together. Like my workspace is like I'm legit just playing Minecraft, and I don't want to have to run to building to kind of get my things or store them because I'm lazy. That's probably it. But it's turning out pretty well. And of course, I use the spruce beams, which that's what these are called. Very nice, very nice. And then of course, just regular spruce. I put a little fireplace in there. Not sure why, I just really wanted it. I put these blocks down because I could not remember where I placed these lanterns. And I didn't have much iron at the time. So I was trying to make my space work. I didn't want them hanging like farther down because I feel like I would hit my head on it, which in itself wouldn't be bad, but I sprint around a lot. So that's why I didn't drop them one more lower. But nothing's spawning in this, so at the end of the day, it works out just fine. So the other item I needed was, I thought this was one of them, which was this maggot from a fly to make this animal book. Dictionary. Animal dictionary is what it's called. Fun fact, I don't need that. I need something else, which is very unfortunate. These items aren't too hard to get. I think you can use like bear fur. I don't know if I've even have I seen a bear in this world? Okay, I'm going off track here. I don't know if I've even seen a bear in this world, but you can see I'm getting my last. There's a couple chests still in the tree that I don't notice until later. But basically, the chest monster is taken care of as a whole. I do like that you don't have to click on the chests as well as label them because it shows you what's inside the chest if you just hover over it. So my next goal, obviously, is that I need mending. I'm starting to make diamond tools, which I have. And I would like to keep those because I don't have that many diamonds. I really don't. I am too lazy to mine. I don't really like mining, so I think most of the diamonds I have now, I found. I didn't mine them, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. That's kind of how it works. Every world is a new experience. So I'm going to try a Waystone here because home is not too far away, but it's too far away to try dealing with these. And I know I can lead animals. If you lead them and then hit the Waystone, it'll go with you. I wasn't sure about the boat though. And I was trying to remember if you can actually grab this boat with a lead. But no. So tried with the boat. And it worked. Thankfully, it did work. Spoiler alert. I am going to have to move my Waystone out of the house. I'm not sure why I thought it was a good idea to have it inside. And that's just farther from right now. Anyway, the boats do work if you actually get in them and then Waystone back. They do work from here. But more importantly, than the villagers, that is, I need to get my dragon back. And the Aether Dragon is so amazing. It flies substantially faster than the other ones. If you've never flown them before, you can definitely tell it's much faster than the others. And I use all of mine, all of the dragons. Not sure how I ended up doing that. I just pick up one. Now, if it's far distance, it's going to be the Aether Dragon as a whole, typically. I don't understand why these villagers do this. It's always something weird. And there was a blast furnace right in front of him, but he picked something farther away. So I don't know. Trying to move it, and I know the mod is not in this pack. And there's always a problem with these guys. Always a problem. These guys is what I was referring to. They were eating me up for a while. Like they just kept showing. I wasn't close to death or anything. A couple of my dragons were. But they become a problem. And so are the dragons walking around are going to be a problem amongst themselves. Normally I sit them because a lot of the times they have harmless flowers, but this red one does not. And that's why I'm looking at the flowers now, is to figure out if this flower this dragon ran into was down, which is a torch flower. And it does burn. It's still surprising how low their health is. And I can't put armor on them. It's fine though. It's okay. It's just kind of one of those dynamics you just have to be careful with as a whole. So raw meat, more specifically not fish, heals them up all the way. I always want to shift click these, even though you just click on basically the stomach area for the hitbox to feed them. But you have to pay attention or they will get themselves hurt. So I just decided to move the villagers down because I really needed a breeder, which is simple enough. It'll just be, a farmer and some other villager. And I always start off with giving them wheat bread, and then just go from there. They start doing their thing. And I'm always nervous if they have something in their inventory, those dynamics of will it keep breeding? Eventually they do keep breeding, yes. And nighttime becomes a problem for me very quickly because these guys, more specifically the creepers as a whole, I just really wanted to get some crops, and that's exactly where I was headed to. And yeah, that skeleton was there. Not a big deal. I don't want to cut these trees down. I might end up doing it because I need to expand my crops, but I want to keep as many of the regular trees that I saw in this space as possible. So I have to get a little creative with everything that's in this space because it's a big space, but I do want to build more within it. Yeah, I died trying to move a villager around. When I was mining down, I teleported in the Waystone, but when I came off the Waystone, or out of it, I fell down the hole that I made to get down to my mines down here. Yeah, it was not good. And you can tell it was where I started because my torches are on the right side. I always place my torches on the left, if you're wondering. Always on the left, because I will get lost. I do appreciate, though, that your body still stays there. Was that a time limit? Sorry, I'm just looking now, because before died on... Oh, no, that's just the time. Cool. And this is where, yeah, I plugged the hole up. I was just trying to move the other villager over with the farming villager. In, where was it? Storage? Yeah, right there. And he's in. Was it the farming one? Yeah, no, that was the other guy. I knew the other guy because they always say something like you don't need a profession, but I started trading with him. He was fine. And this is the guy that I use for not only breeding, but for mending eventually. I'm not really sure how many villagers there are. Like names. See, what was your name? Ruben? The other one, turn around. I don't remember if I turn around. Ruben. I think the other one's called Juanita. I think. I actually want to try this though. Be able to look at Enderman. So I have to keep this in mind. And Veil. And Veil. And Veil. And Veil. Because I do want to fight the dragon eventually. Maybe even with my dragon, but I'm not... Oh, I can tell... Never mind. I'm thinking way, way ahead of time. I don't even have the resources. But you can definitely see we are working on babies, which is nice. It is not the perfect setup, by no means. And I don't mean the making, because they make the babies. I finally do get the mending, though. At a good price, actually, too. Like the first go. It was low. I was expecting it to be like in the 20s. But you know what? I'll take that. I'm not looking to lower trading value or anything like that. I just want to get my stuff and move. Because, you know, once you get your emerald sources set up, it's really not that big of a deal for what you have. But these are those small things you kind of just mix and match. And some things you want to see, some things you don't. But I kind of want to mix and match this stuff. For example, I still need sheep because I need wool. I don't typically breed a bunch of sheep because I don't care to use wool for building blocks, just for beds as a whole. Carpet. But that's pretty much it. You're not going to see me build a huge barn full of different colored sheep. I just change the color, shear it, and then change it again when I need to. These thankfully spawn. For whatever reason, the regular mobs don't spawn as frequently in certain areas. Not sure why, but it's okay. It gives me an excuse to explore. And these waystones are such a lifesaver. I'm telling you, they are. I wonder if it was like a smaller feeling world, like terrain-wise, with the waystones not feel neat. Yet they do. They feel needed, I can assure you. With the distance you have to cover in Minecraft, if you've ever played it for longer than 10 minutes. It's a lot of traveling. But I got them back safe, which is really nice. Because I'm always worried. Right now I'm worried about creepers. I've been creepered and creepered. That's why I have my map up, is creepers. Normally I turn it off by now, but the creepers around my builds, I just don't want anything to get ruined. But I go back, I get my waystone, and I also get my dragon because we're off again. I need to find I think the easiest source was a roadrunner for the ingredient. I think it's the feather I need. Feather for the animal dictionary, which I don't actually use at all during this entire playthrough right here of this episode, that is. But I do want it. That was one of my main goals. I'm always paranoid about getting blown up. I really am. That's why you don't see me just running in. And yes, I see those diamond blocks. I don't want to blow up. These dragons are kind of like dogs. You see how I move forward some and it circles back and starts climbing on crap again? Dogs do that same thing. Especially if you want to get them in a boat. I don't understand why. But if you are exploring, sit your dragon down. Unless you're just walking away and not have to like do something like this, because they will walk right on top of you. One of those nice things you don't realize until you don't want them there. Yeah, But I love the dragons. I really, really do. Wish you can wear armor at least if their health is so low, but I take what I can get. But do remember I did say I find most of my diamonds. Yeah, this is pretty much how I get a lot of my extra diamonds because I haven't found anything. Any diamonds, I don't think, since the first episode. None in this episode. And I have hours of gameplay for this one as well. But I get my feather. It was that colored one. It wasn't the regular, like, chicken feather. I don't even think you can use that one. Sorry, I like to remember my recipes. I'm an old school Minecrafter, so I try to just remember the recipes as a whole. But I actually did make the animal dictionary, which I've used before. It's very beneficial because I do want a few different animals in this world, which are going to be a little tougher to get, some more than others. I do like how this mechanic is where your items stay on display within the crafting table or wherever you craft something, if you just don't take them off, which is amazing. And eventually, we do all sorts of crafting. Well, I do anyway. I've added some, but I can tell you right now, the stuff I end up doing is pretty boring when it comes to enchanting, which if you've done it, you know. This one's a little more unlucky. It is nice that I actually do have some kind of XP farm to just keep rolling, which is nice. But I really wanted to start on the cow house. So I'm off away from base, not too far, to get some dirt. Grass blocks. I would prefer dirt over grass blocks. But if you don't know, if you need like a work shovel, just get a silk touch one, because the silk touch will mine through the grass faster than just a, let's say, efficiency 4 one with no silk touch. That sort of thing. That and vein mining helps a lot too. Vein mining is amazing for everything. The only thing it doesn't mine up is ores. So deep slate, yeah, what I'm telling you that it does everything but ores, and it is a lifesaver. As long as you have mending and a source of XP, I can assure you it's worth getting early game, even if you don't have the perfect tools. And you're a builder, that is. If you're not a builder, I guess it's not a big deal. But if you're, having said that, there's one dungeon, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm saying it because if I say it, I'm going to keep thinking about it later. The one dungeon guy could never find, and I did it on a stream, and I could not find it. I even went into spectator mode, could not find this chamber. Looked up tutorials for it, because it's one boss I want to fight in the overworld. I really want to do all the overworld stuff and fight the dragon, let's say, if it's just regular Minecraft. So the overworld stuff is what I want to do, like completely. The quest chain, that is. But that's nor here nor there right now. Right now we're just cutting wood. But I'm actually really, like, Minecraft has been an off and on thing for me, but I guess it is for everybody else. But this world has been really fun and not hardcore, because I've died, I think, maybe 4 times. I think it's 4 times. But you'll see me rolling a lot. And this is kind of how it goes. I get single chance on the best stuff as a whole. But I did learn for the next episode that there are certain things that work better in other dimensions than what you expect to work well here in the overworld. I'd added Fortune 4 to my pickaxe. And then I started making all my diamond gear. Why? Because I eventually want to go in my first other dimension. I'm saving the nether for right now, because the nether is one I'm more excited about than the others. Why? I think it's really, really cool. But it's also really dangerous. But it's really, really cool, but there's so much there. So much there. If you're wondering, just by what I can tell, have experienced so far, every dimension, but this one, and the nether's not so bad, but the other ones are meant to challenge you in their own ways, which I think is really amazing as a better Minecraft. But I'm off collecting more wood and stuff like that. I tend to collect materials when I want to think over what I want to build, because I feel like I still am a terrible builder now with regards to what I choose, because I can build pretty quick when I have an idea in my mind, but it's just getting it in there. This has been the worst tree, and I wanted to leave it sitting there because it just wouldn't want to come down. And this is full speed. This is not sped up. You know when you're cutting a tree and you're like, oh, okay, cool, it's only a few blocks up, I can just get it and it'll come down? No. I do this way too many times. Look, see? Real time. This is the whole thing. I'm not unclipping or clipping. I'm speeding up nothing. Look. Almost done? Nope. Still more. Ah, my goodness. This was a pain in the butt. Look, see? Still, same thing. And it's done. This tree. I don't think I ever used this wood either. It's just really ugly wood. This, I added. It's not this. Oh, if you can see the lag in my frames, it's the snow and the fog that is just eating me up. If you look at the map when I come out, see the framiness. It's so bad, and that's just me moving around with all the snow animation and the snow falling. It looks pretty on the ground, but don't get stuck out here if you are like in battle or something, because the frames are so bad. Mud blocks. These mud blocks are so amazing that they're just out, and I haven't crafted a one. I've not crafted a one. Having said that, I think I've been in mangrove and didn't even think to get any actual mud. Not packed mud. Huh. And then I'm thinking about this later, like as I'm exploring, I'm going to these places, but I stay pretty focused on what I'm actually trying to do. This, fortunately, I did find another sword though. Diamond sword. It's not the greatest. I don't actually care for knockback unless I know I need to keep things away from me. So let's say if I'm fighting creepers, maybe poisonous spiders, but it may be beneficial later with some of these other mobs I've never fought before in these other dimensions. Oh, that's cool. I get to reflect on this stuff because I recorded this stuff. I have notes. I'm looking at the notes right now, the long list of notes. This video by itself, just so you guys know, because I'm trying to remember what I'm doing, has 73 clips. So I have put the time in to kind of get you guys the juicy stuff, but not all the craziness. Because with Minecraft, you know, you might spend a couple hours building, but you might spend 8 hours doing something else just to get to that point. This place was really pretty. At first, I didn't know what it was for. Like these ruins, I assumed they were ruins with all this overgrowth, but I do like looking at it, and you should, because you can get a lot of cool building ideas from it. Shapes, materials to use, that sort of thing, which is amazing. Obviously, I'm going to take materials. I'm going to take them. Frog lights. And when I saw the frog lights is what made me think this was like a frog, like sanctuary, or, and there's a frog there, but we're in mangrove. But this is specifically for frogs. Like they worship frogs, which I didn't realize until I saw the statues. From the front and from the side, they're frogs. I'm not sure what these ruins are called, but I'm going to say frog ruins. That's what we're going to call them. Which is really cool. There's not much there, but I still think it's really, really cool. And again, as I'm coming back, I did find another desert temple. And it's not even the loot I'm really caring about. It's just, I want to see that chamber that killed me in hardcore. And I do the same thing. I look straight down. As if you can see, this is the chamber. You can see how high that smooth comes down. That cut, they call it cut stone, sandstone. This smooth one. This is the block I was talking about. It goes all the way up with the secret chamber. And what helps is the map for me. But if you just cut around the outsides, then you'll be able to see the chamber there. It goes all the way down. I could just vein mine it, but I kind of wanted to see how it opens up. And see, there's the piston. There's the chamber. But back to this, though, I was more interested in because I feel like that was the redstone one that I just picked up. There's the TNT, but if you look closer, see the extra TNT? Under all these except for the redstone one, which means if I opened up a chest, it was going to blow me up, which is unfortunate. I'm actually not sure how that chest even opened. I think it's the chest that opens that up. I'll have to see, but I kept looking at this redstone just in case I wanted to test it out, which I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to look for another one and see how it works. Probably blow myself up, but I'm going to see how it works from there. Not too bad. I expected a little bit more traps. I still don't know where this arrow came from. Clearly it came from the right side, obviously. But from what I don't see, maybe it came from behind that lava, but wouldn't it burn up in the lava? See what I mean? I don't see a dispenser or whatever the other thing is called. See, I don't see it. That's fine though. I just want to see what this chamber has to offer. And here's the end one, husk. So that is a husk spawner that's in there, which makes sense because we're in a desert. If you can tell, I'm still using unenchanted tools for weapons, that is. The other ones I always do first. You may do that. Do you guys do that? I always do my tools first, like that you want to collect materials with. So pickaxe, obviously, axe, and shovel. And I don't do too much combat right now. For the sake of I just don't want to die. But I'm still paranoid because I don't know if this room's trapped. This room is not trapped. I don't know that until after, but I didn't see any traps in the redstone. Kind of like it's you can safely loot this. Get a backpack early. Get a backpack early because it's amazing. These quiver things I may look up. I'm not going to do that. I get a bunch of them from the skelly spawner, but I picked up another egg as well. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the quivers. Okay, I got it. The quivers. The quivers, I have to figure out. They come with bundles. I don't even know how to repair them. You can't craft them, I don't think. But I wanted some clay balls for obvious reasons, for brick, because I really wanted some brick for some building material, which is unfortunate. I don't have a fortune shovel yet, nor do I have a clay villager. Oh my goodness, this is what drives me crazy. These stupid catfish keep eating my blocks. Like I was just sitting there leaving them. I was like, they're going to go up and I'll collect them. Nope. They kept getting eaten. And the catfish, whatever reason, just start moving your direction when you start mining blocks. I'm not sure why. The bigger ones will spit out stuff. I am not sure if they actually eat clay balls, but I'm going to figure that out hopefully next episode. I'm just more curious than I am anything else. But they kept eating my clay balls that I was mining up with that. Well, this is where I had to figure out where my villagers went to. My only thought was they slept and then went down the hole. That was my only thought. And sure enough, that's how it ended up here. Right down here. Which was nice because they were safe, but also I can still use waystones to move them. So it's not the worst. It's a little inconvenient, but it's not the worst that I've had for these as a whole. But there was so much going on this episode because I wanted to get so much kind of just ironed out for what I had. And it seems to work out well. Some of it is a bit grindy. I'm just more so the mod pack experience as a whole. What menu was that I just saw that was all green? I'm gonna have to look back at that clip. I don't recognize what I was even searching for. Anyway, I'm sidetracked. I get to see all this stuff that I didn't notice before when I was actually recording this. But what I noticed was, you see what time of the day it is, that's why I stayed in here, is they can reach the bed. At least one of them did. Which was this guy. So I suspected that the bed is too close. Why did he grab the side one though? Oh, I know what I was looking for. I was looking to see if they had functions like a greenhouse glass. That's what it was. To make a greenhouse. Because it keeps showing the properties of when things are in season. Sorry, I just remembered now what it was. And this is where I sit. I just sit and wait because I need them to stay in here. They seem to be just fine. Now, they're trying to go for the beds and they cannot get to them. So move it back. And of course, I followed a tutorial. I didn't make that up. But I finally get to start building. Start to get to building. And these are all stone variants, I believe. Yeah, all stone variants. Except for one. I think the dark one is a stone, like stone brick variant. The dark one is. Just to let you know. The one I'm holding is just a stone. So if you put it in the stone cutter, you can get this block. The dark one with the big squares, see that stone? And then the dark version of that I do add right here, that one is a stone brick one. I just want you to know that, just for sake of if you see it and you want to use it, that's the difference. I try never to overdo the amount of blocks I use because then it takes away from the vision of my build. I've done builds where I have tons of detail and they look nice, but when you see my builds now, as long as I've played Minecraft, I want you to see like, yeah, that's it. That's what I want you to say versus you trying to figure out everything I've used. Because, of course, with Minecraft, you want to inspire people to build, not be like, I can never build that sort of feel. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I build now. Because I don't need to do that. I want you to be able to say, hey, I can do that too. And the good part is you can copy this, but the better part is you can still utilize your own simple palette, is what I mean. You don't have to have 6 different blocks in like a 10 by 10 space. You can still use 2, 3 of the same kind of block. Like I'm using stone. This is, of course, is just spruce beams. I love it so much more than the stripped one. I'm telling you that. It could be the shaders, but it's just with that smoothness to it, without the extra texture. With that really smooth wood grain, it's so much nicer. And it is just as expensive though. But with tree felling in this mod, it's amazing. You can collect so much materials, especially spruce, very, very quickly for what I have going. But this is me doing those touch-ups, and I wanted you to see it because you just never know which parts are much more challenging than others. And some are a little harder than others. Like I can do like I could have tried replay, but I kind of want you to see this small bits of the details that matter, if that makes sense. Like I can just show you putting on a roof, but it's these sorts of things I rethink. What direction you want the grain to go, that sort of thing. Those small things to where if you look at somebody else's build, you figure out, Does this touch this wall? What block did they put here that you don't really see? That sort of thing. And that's why I've added it in this manner. I love to hear blocks being placed, more specifically like stone blocks. I don't know why. Is anybody else like that? Where you just want to hear certain blocks? That's typically why I keep my block sound up. And actually, to be honest with you, I would have loved to use more brick. But guess what? I don't have that much. And that's fine. I still want my predominant block to be spruce with those small touches as a whole. And again, I'm still kind of just freestyling the rest of this, like the edging and that sort of thing. I laid out as much as I could as a whole. And this is kind of where we're at now, which is a really, really nice way to say, I'm starting to really like this build. I really am. And this wall, I was really conflicted at first. The spruce trim is amazing. There's a vertical version of this as well. And I do use it, not in this build. I don't think I use it in this build. Basically, it's this, but vertically. So turned sideways as a whole. If you're wondering what this is, I do this last. I always wonder how I could still not figure out how to build just, kind of like a 3D printer to where it just keep going around in a circle till it goes up. Versus this is just how I've always built. You just fill in quick and just keep on moving through whatever you have. And these are another parts. The small, small details that matter with what you build within this space. Which I love this stuff. It's small. You'll look at it but not pay much attention to it. But it does make a difference in how it comes off in your final product. What you have here. And this is tall. Taller than I expected it to, but it didn't feel right. If it was a little shorter or more triangular, that is, traditionally triangular, where it's just step, 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 step. That's why the roof ended up being a little taller, which was fine because it adds a little bit more variation between my first build and this build. And my next one, which will be in the next episode, that is, will be a little different than these two. I kind of want to keep them themed together, but I want to feel like I have different builds, not just making a plug and play city, if that makes sense. Because there will be a bunch of builds in this world. I'll tell you that right now, within this space. I'm actually really excited to build with this as a whole. The fireplace still wanted brick, like stone. Variations of stone. And I wanted it big, but I wanted it tall. That's kind of how this went with. And in the top, I remembered I was making these, what is it? Stone pillar and then the little cap. I can't remember what it's called. I have them at my front door and I don't remember what they are. Anyway, so many blocks, but there's so many blocks you can use. There's a lot of preferences you might have. It's turning out really, really well. And that was the first go. So it's time to move these cows in, which is really, really nice. I like this dirty one. You see that dirty one right here touching me? That one. I wish the regular ones looked like that too. As a regular vanilla cow. They don't even need the white one like this one. I like that dirty one. It's like the perfect cow within, because it has a little bit of, anyway, I like that cow. Moving them into this hole here. And I've tested my professional redstone skills and it does work. For this cow crush, this beef and leather producer. We'll say that. Having said that, the message at the bottom keeps saying I can milk a goat in this game. Never thought about doing that. Sorry. I just saw the udders on that cow and that's what I was thinking about. All these things you see, because there's a lot. There's a lot to these games, mod packs specifically. And if you don't pay attention to them... Is that a pillager? No, that's horns. Sorry. That's horns. I'm looking up here on the left. You see the top left? I thought that was a pillager walking across the screen. These guys have me nervous. Nervous. They're not too bad. I just don't need them to push me or anyway. Sorry. There was a whole lot going on during this entire episode, which, that's kind of how it works. I used this glass, one, because it's more invisible, and two, for whatever reason, it feels like I can stand more on the block without having to shift. Like if you're using a fence like you normally would, I don't feel like I can touch the cows as much, like hit their hitbox. I don't understand why cows do this. I don't really understand, how is that a way out? It's a door. So why wouldn't you stand next to the gate? Because this cow's going into the field, that's why. I don't know why it wants to climb this ladder. Villagers do that, but villagers make sense because they're people. But I start working on the floor. And I was going to test out a new block that I still like. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. But it's salt. Dried salt. It's a really nice block. It really is. But I don't know where I'd put it. Maybe an aquarium. Like in the bottom of a river. There it is. I just figured it out now as I'm doing this voiceover for this. This is annoying. When I say creepers have been... I don't know why he even walked in my house. He was outside, I think, in the crops. And he went into the house, and I barely noticed him down my stairs. You remember when I said that I kept the map up? Well, let's just say it doesn't save me from the damage that's about to ensue. I'm honestly not sure what he just picked up. Was it dirt? Yeah, there's another one that snuck up on me. These trees hide these creepers so well. So well. I don't want to cut them down yet. And I haven't put all the lighting in it. But see, there's another one that shows right back up. And this is all within the time frame. These stupid creepers. And it's fine. That's one of those things is I'm not going to turn off the... What is that thing called? Griefing? Yeah, I'm not turning that off. I'm going to leave it on. It's just one of those things. These builds, though, matter to me, which is one of the weirdest sensations for me that normally I don't care. If you blow it up, I'll blow it up. It's fine. But these ones I kind of want to keep as it is. But these creepers are eating me alive, which I think is really cool. And it's one of those weird sensations, and it's a different... I'm completely off script here. When I used to build a lot, I'm talking about huge stuff, like upwards to 100 to 150 blocks up or more. Whatever reason, I never cared if a skeleton was just around, because I'd build at night too. They would just shoot me off this pillar. I don't know why. It was so funny. Even though, yes, I do die at times. Once you get wings, you just kind of drop and just glide away. But this is before Electra. That was just one thing that I kind of liked, because it would break up that plainness that vanilla has in it. You know what I mean? Like when you're just building and you're safe, you have everything lit up, you have the best armor, but getting knocked off a pillar still doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how long you've played it, but that's just one of those things that you know that feeling. But with the creepers and the pillagers, I think it's added so much, because here it's pretty chill as a whole. But again, it's just regular Minecraft, but better. For me, that is. But I'm kind of smoothing out the land here, and I wanted to add some of this maple leaves. Why? They look pretty. They're a darker red versus kind of a gaudy, so I guess closer to like a burgundy color. I'm not great with the extra colors, but this works for warmth in this space. And I added this bit of clip because normally you'll see people add these details in, and you'll see them put like trapdoors and buttons all over stuff. I'm not going to do that. There really isn't any point. Again, this is my world. And I see how much time went into this. I was happy with this build. And for me, it doesn't happen often where I'm like, oh, I really like this. No joke. Like that's usually how I am now with building. It's nice though. I still don't know how to place blocks on the side of blocks like that. I've done it, and I know this mod pack has it to where like you can touch more of the edge and it'll place like even under it, which I've done in the nether before, and I still don't know why. But back to building. Your build doesn't have to be too much to be a good build. And for me to like it. It makes sense for me. Sorry, that's a whole different tangent for building. But that's kind of those things that you add in here. Why would this be better suited for you to play versus vanilla? Well, one, because you have a lot more options. But the biggest thing, I guess, you can take from like a mod pack like this, nothing that has like tech, that sort of thing, but because you have so many options to inspire your new builds or the ones you have, or like I can change this, or is there a wood or some kind of texture close to this? I didn't think about doing this combination, that sort of thing. And not even just like the combat. Yeah, my cows got out because I was an idiot. And here we are. It's pretty much done. I don't know the pathways yet, but it has these softest touches of detail everywhere. Like I've considered what I wanted in this build. I wanted it to be smooth, but I want you to kind of notice small things about it. And you can see it in the pasture out here, inside. There's small touches here and there. You see that one trapdoor? There's a few over here, but there really isn't many. There really is not, and that's kind of what I was going for. Nice tall ceilings. Now those trapdoors you see in the back there on the wall, I use those because I needed more light. It's the only reason why they're there. Towards the top, because with the lanterns being lower, I didn't want the light to be inside. So that's why the windows are there. Other than that, I would have probably not had the windows. I even considered putting windows by the fireplace, but I don't want to over detail. But this little detail I just really liked. Right in the roof, the way up here into this little bed. It rains a lot here. It's probably because I've been here and this is part of the climate that they have. But I think it's turned out just amazing for what I have. I may want to put some heads up there on the fireplace though. But I even finished the chimney. See? At the very top. I can't remember if I think I actually put a hay bale at the top there. Just so I can get that little height as a whole that's actually on there. But after that build, I just went to check on my villagers to see if they were still pumping them out. And they definitely were. I was kind of worried at first. They were. But I don't need any more lag. There's no issues, but you know how villagers are when they start doing their business. You kind of get these lag spikes if you've worked with villagers before. And that's what I did. I just put them in boats, so they're on pause right now for what I have. But we have the villagers, which is nice. And of course, one of my favorite things to do is take a break and collect some crops, which for whatever reason, it's still one of my favorite parts of this whole mod pack is this function. With a hoe, you just chop what you can do with your hand, but of course you can see it's actually planting them as well, which is really, really good. I am curious if you'll drop more if it actually is a fortune. Normally it would, like if you chop it, it would be fortune. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to test that when I actually have to enchant one. Maybe next episode, a fortune hoe. But with these, yeah, there's been some pretty bad ones. I want you to see them, but yeah, there's been a lot of bad enchants, and I'm kind of focused on my tools. That's why I'm working on Infinity and my armor, because I do intend on going to another dimension today. And no, it's not the end, and no, it is not the nether. Today, we're going to Everbright, which is the icy biome, versus Everdawn, which is supposed to be a dry and dark space. It says at dawn, like sunrise, but I think it's darker than that. What I've seen, anyway. But I'm excited to go in them, and scared, which I guess that's the same thing for right now for Minecraft, because I just want to enjoy those new things that they actually have on there. But back to the story. No joke, you hear me talking, but I actually do have a script for this. It's a long list that I handwrite, and I put in like it's typed out, and I still don't follow it as well. But it's just how I play Minecraft. It's how I record. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry for how I have it. But I finally get a decent sword, and I don't plan on doing too much combat. I just want to make sure I have it just in case. I don't want to use a shield. I don't know why. I'm just trying not to ever use a shield. It's just one of those challenges you can have. It's not hardcore. It'd be easier. I did read, I'm an idiot, by the way. I didn't see that it said there's entries in the book until well after I finished this recording. So I knew nothing about this place, and they gave me the information once I entered the portal. But I was not smart enough to click that tab down there below my hotbar to check it. It tells you trees, it tells you the characteristics of the mobs, that sort of thing. Yeah, I didn't look at it until well after. I did read it though, just to let you know. I read every single page, every single description that they have in it. So I wanted to see if I can bring, because I can use a waystone. I can use a waystone. And let's just say this is where I learned I should not have put my waystone in the house. But I did get him through, which was really nice. Really, really nice. And whatever reason, I just said, I want to take the fire one. Because it's easy to see, but fire nice, you know, which is really, really cool. But it's so nice to be able to approach something like this and just fly away. Because I'm not kidding you when I say it, a lot of the mobs are not happy mobs that you encounter. They want to, let's just say, make your day a little less pleasant. I didn't know what those were. I know they're crabs, clearly. I wanted to go in the water, but I'm not trying to get myself hurt. This dimension, as I'm flying around, does say that you should use your pickaxe more than your sword. Because of the whole ice thing. Like if you see ice mobs, use your pickaxe, not your sword. I'm just letting you know now. I didn't know this until after I read it. Because you start getting messages that say this doesn't work as well. Vein mining does work still, just FYI. Vein mining does work in this dimension, even though your pickaxe seems slower. But yes, use your pickaxe as a weapon for frosty mobs in this Everbright. And this, if I had to do this on foot, oh my goodness, I would be overwhelmed. Because I had to travel a while to find any real civilization. But things do creep up on you a lot. I did read that this mushroom thing here, I, again, didn't know anything about it. This little mushroom thing right there. Well, that mushroom thing, if it hits you, I believe hits you with an effect that slows you down like freezing. But this was my first civilization I think I found that was friendly. I was still afraid. Why? Because every mob, for whatever reason, spawns close to you. I don't know why, good and bad. Like it's the only place they can spawn is real close to you. So the spawning rate for stuff besides like regular like villages and stuff is always around you in these dimensions, so I can tell. So be careful, especially if you don't play with the map up. See, that's what I'm looking at right now. It's just checking mobs because I wanted to actually just kind of walk around and see. This is a new crop. New armor I'm going to eventually look that over. But you do have, it has a feel where it's clearly cold here. Clearly cold here. Now this stuff I'm picking up, I know it seems useful. I don't know what it's for. But this is the one thing I was worried about. See this guy right here? Not Greg. Greg got attacked, unfortunately. This guy. I'm so happy, and it was not by intent either, that I had flame on my bow. I was so happy. And there's 2 more mobs. You're not supposed to be able to outrun this guy right here with the fangs, by the way. This guy, you're not supposed to be able to outrun him. I think they're supposed to be really, really fast. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of having a dragon. But there's so much to do, so much to see, but I was just ready to get back as a whole. There's a lot of dead space so far. There's supposed to be dungeons and stuff, and I may do that at some point. Not now, but I kind of would like to do that after I've done the overworld stuff and probably fought the dragon. But I ended up at home. I am sorry, dragon. I'm going to say that now. I almost killed my dragon because I put my portal inside. But this episode has been one wild ride for me. You didn't see it all. There was so much that went on. So much that went on in this episode, in this time frame. And I'm already recording the newest episode after this one, which I want to say about half of that one already done, if not a little bit more. I wanted the episodes to be longer because there's so much content I don't want you to miss in this, but I also don't want to bore you with it either. So I hope that the bits that you've seen, you've started liking the builds, they give you inspiration, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out.